Misery, misery, misery. That's not what you've chosen, mate, because you've clicked on yet another Panel Pals. I'm not MN Stash.
And I'm not Skull Ryan.
And what are we doing today?
Well, we are reading Ultimate Spider-Man issues 22 to 28.
Yeah, mate. So,
basically the Green Goblin stuff?
It is the Green Goblin has returned. The initial plan was to do until, I think, 33. But when we sat down and started planning it, this is the Green Goblin, mate. This is like, especially this Peter. This is Peter Parker's mortal nemesis. This is the Spider-Man villain. So we wanted to give him the respect he deserved without tacking on an unrelated story at the end. So it's pure Goblin.
I do think that this story was probably my favorite arc so far.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Fully agree.
From start to finish, it was just really solid.
Yeah, I feel like it was very fast as well. Not in the way like I read through it quick. More like this only felt like a day or two in Peter's life. And it was just rapid. The second the Osborns were back, he was like, oh shit, we're going.
I love the energy though. Especially like his face throughout everything. It's like from when Norman puts his hand on his shoulder when they're watching the tape.
Yeah.
To when he was saying like what he would do to his family.
Norman absolutely pulls it out here, mate. He like deserves his role as top villain here. The whole
I like how
he's so
like,
smug and casual.
He displayed like proper dread and anxiety with Peter throwing up. Like that, you don't really blame him for that.
Yeah. Like it doesn't explain anything. Does it? Just opens with Spider-Man swinging, and then he suddenly stops and throws up because he's that terrified of what's happening.
Yeah, because fucking Norman's terrifying. He's so scary.
The raw casualness. So he was like, "If you don't do what I say, I'll probably, murder your girlfriend, murder your mum, and then I'll probably murder you too." He was like, "This is a 15-year-old."
I'll beat you to an inch of your life. Let you heal to the point where you feel somewhat human again, then just beat you to death. It's like, what the
Yeah. And then it's like, and then I will beat you to death. You're like, oh shit. Norman.
I just love reading this with the spectacular Norman voice.
Oh.
It's so
finally
evil.
As well, dude. The Goblin was green. He was fully green. Nice.
And he actually talked. He wasn't just bark, or he actually spoke audible words.
He was an actual. He wasn't just he's a monster, but he wasn't just a monster. He was like calculating as well. The whole he's a lunatic though. What did you think of the issue from his perspective?
I thought it was an interesting. Like they didn't really make it goblin demons, but just more weird sort of consciousness floating around him.
They looked a bit like Spider-Man though, didn't they? They had his eyes.
Oh, the eyes, yeah. The lanky build as well.
Yeah.
I didn't mind how chaotic it made his mind seem. You could tell he's just clearly just. I like how one of them suggested circles, and he starts rambling about circles.
Yeah, but none of them are coherent in it. It's just the spamming random shit of stuff
One of them suggested a Skip Westcott activity
because he's looking at Peter. Yeah, he's like, kill him, kiss him. I love him. He's my son.
I do like how this story, like when Norman, he just fucking despises Harry. And he's like talking about the therapy and the hypnosis. He's like, he's turned into a son I might actually want to go out in public with.
Yeah. He's got to brainwash his own son into being tolerable. He's such a dick in this, mate. 616 Norman at least could blame the split personality, but this one's always hated Harry.
Did you think the reveal was handled well when Nick was saying Norman's basically just a fraud? Like how the company was failed.
Yeah, it was a super soldier project, wasn't it? And they were trying to
And then, yeah, he
recreate
didn't
the
he
new
didn't
cat, but he
succeed,
didn't
and
have
then
it.
Oz was like this thing that could
Yeah,
have maybe worked in a few more years, but he rushed it.
he rushed through it to get the glory, and it's turned him into this big green monster dude. Thought it was
What do you think of the way it's
crafty how
handled? The
it tied it ties it into the overall like universe, doesn't it? I know last time we met
oh yeah.
Shield in the Doctor Octopus story, but now it's like this is a universe. It's not just Spider-Man because now
What do you think of the
Iron
way
Man
they
turned
did
up,
the Goblin serum?
injecting it. I
Yeah, like how
think,
yeah, it's like it's not even green. It's just sort of it's just red.
yeah. Well, is that just because Norman gets his powers by injecting himself with
With
himself,
himself.
or with Oz? So is that just his blood with some Oz put in? Because
I'm just more
he
like
had a lot of it.
also the Harry must be pretty strong to be able to lift up that metal bar and shove it through his goblin back.
True, but we find out later that Harry himself has a bit of goblin in him. From that, he was at the explosion at Oscorp, wasn't he?
Oh yeah,
That
because
gave
that would have
Norman.
like a yeah
It's a bit
radius.
stupid, but that explosion gave like 3 different people superpowers just from being there. So maybe that's a bit of it. I'm not too sure how to think about this Harry because he's not. It's sad, obviously, because he's like, "Oh, I want to be with you guys. I want to be with my friends," and he's excited that his dad's finally paying attention to him. Obviously, it's all brainwashing, but at the same time, we haven't spent enough time with him to care that much because he was in the first few issues and then he went. He come back in this for a few issues and now he's gone. Well, you could watch in 616, you could like see him getting worse and
That's the
worse.
thing is I feel like also a lot of alternate worlds sort of rely on the fact that we know the characters
Yeah,
and they
they
like
don't
that
bother
knowledge
setting
will
up.
carry it.
Exactly, mate. They don't set up the villains because they're like, oh, people know who the Rhino is. Just chuck him in.
It's like I was saying before, though, it is confusing with the two rhinos from the game and the comic, how they just don't line up whatsoever,
Don't
really.
mesh. Absolutely, yeah. The one in the
Very
game,
clearly
it's like
not
there's a little
someone
nerd
that's
in
like a
there.
yeah. What does he say to Spider-Man when he gets out of the suit? I can never understand him. When he's like,
He's
"Not with the big
talking
words
in like
again."
raw nerd, and he mate. Salutations, malefactors.
When he's like, I remember when he like jump on his back and he's like, I can't remember what the fuck
He's
he
like,
says.
I'm sure he's saying like the
It's
Latin
it's like in that
word for
rhythm, like
rhino. Yeah, I swear to God, it's like the uh, the species name for rhino or some stupid shit. Like he's got to let people know he's a nerd. Can't just be a nerd. P is
It's
in petroleum. E is in
not with the big words again.
dodgy dude.
I
Who
love
the hell?
we say it every episode, but I do love um Sean Marquette's Peter voice.
Yeah, it keeps slipping. As I am trying to listen to it in Josh Keaton's voice, but I do keep slipping back into the Sean. What did you
Yeah,
think of
it's
the fake out in this story? You know, you see the Green Goblin with a love interest on a bridge, and you kind of assume
oh
it's
yeah.
going to go a certain
Wait,
way.
I was also trying to picture it as if we had freshly bought the comic and it was like
Yeah,
the
like
year
you
probably
didn't know.
2002. Yeah, and then you see the way he even like recreated the death of Gwen and then left it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, Spidey like
Oh
cradles her,
mate.
like gives her a big warm hug, and you're like, "Oh shit! If they just killed Mary Jane,"
He did
and
like
then
the
the
whole
next
thing of
issue opens, you're like, "Oh
he did he said like I saved you or some shit like that. You can't
yeah,"
be
because like I got you, you're okay, you're, and then like it just has
oh.
the silent final panel of him cradling her, and you're like, "Holy shit! Ultimate is all new, all different."
I couldn't imagine how freaked out people would have been to see
Yeah,
that
mate.
come out.
Seeing that and having to wait a month to know, like, that would
Oh,
have
especially
done
because
me in.
half of it was like technically filler. It was just the goblin's point of view. So then you'd be like, waiting for something big to happen, and then you just get potentially the death of MJ.
Yeah, out of nowhere, dude.
Look what we
Crazy.
used to get for Ultimate Spider-Man and what we get now. Look at the difference. I think I was trying to figure out what the Rhino said in that when you jump on
God,
his back. I think it says like Tricerus, Rhisaurus, or something like that over and over again.
that
But
game's sick, dude. I'm gonna replay that soon.
there was one thing when he gets out of the suit, he's like, "Nah, nah, 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 nah," and then he's like, "Not with the big words again."
Yeah,
Never understood what the fuck he said. It was just gibberish to me. I didn't know what he was on about.
I think I've rambled about this before, dude. But you know what annoys me in that game? The only thing that annoys me in that game, the Green
What is it?
Goblin fight, where Spidey's like, "Oh, wonderful! Now the Green Goblin's back as well." It's like, no, dude. Like, he should be shitting. And after this, the second Spidey sees the Green Goblin on the loose, he should be thinking, "Shit, ring Nick Fury now. Get the
Like,
Ultimates here now."
Goblin made Spidey throw up by not even like doing any. He just talked shit, and Spidey threw up because he was that panicked.
Yeah, but in the game, he's like, "Oh, great! Now I gotta fight the Green Goblin." It's like, dude, last time you saw him in canon would have been Ultimate 6, where Norman threatens to just murder his entire family. But now Peter's like,
I feel
"Great."
I feel really bad for Peter in this though, because he's just trapped with this fucking psycho.
Yeah, I loved how when he walks into the room, Norman's watching how he pantsed Dr. Octopus, pissing himself laughing. It's the raw, like, calmness that Norman tells him, where he's just like, "No, this Spider-Man shit, you're done. You work for me. Don't even try and say no." And what can he do? But the balls on Peter when he does square up and he goes, "No, who the fuck are you?"
You know what?
And how
Also, I
sick
really
was it?
like.
Go on.
I was gonna say, like, the action in this of Peter when he punches or kicks looks just like how they adapted it in the game. Like he does this, like the game did such a good job of translating the comic to the screen. Where it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, he does fucking fight like that. He uses the kicks, he flips around. Like it looks just like how it did. And every time he does
boss,
it, I
dude.
sort of just notice it more and more.
You can hear like that classic punch effect, like the sound effect they've got from the
Wow.
game. Mate, the how boss was it when he saves Mary Jane, and then he's like, "Oh my god, I nearly lost her, I nearly," and then he sees the goblin, he's just pissed off, dude. Like he runs at him and jaws him because he's had enough.
I do like how, besides when he injected himself with just a shit ton of the serum, like
Yeah,
Spidey was actually winning the fight,
yeah, yeah.
so he
That
could
actually,
actually probably take him down before the extra boost.
yeah. But that extra like overdosing at the end of this story, yeah. I'm pretty sure every time we see him now after this, he can just transform. I think that's why. Because it's now his system is mostly goblin formula. He doesn't have to inject himself, he
Surely,
can
like
just
I know it's
transform.
comic books and stuff, but like you'd just think that his bloodstream couldn't handle that, and he just die
Yeah,
from it.
yeah, he'd have cardiac arrest from that shit, dude.
And he's like, this is the bad part. He has to change back into Norman.
You and your saunas.
Yeah, wait,
So is
it's
he just
so
like
like,
randomly transforming in his penthouse just to see like it still works or what?
but even just from Harry's point of view, surely it looks so fucking shady.
Yeah. His dad's just
He,
come out with his 15-year-old schoolmate.
it's not only like his dad forced him to
Wearing
come. He
nothing.
sent a limo to pick him up.
Yeah, literally.
And he walks
Mate.
out of the room in a row. Peter's like all shook up.
Norman Epstein.
Then he even fucking runs away.
Yeah, after coming out of his dad's office and his dad's in a blooming robe only. Then Peter's like about to cry and runs away to be sick. You're like, what happened in there, Dad? If I had to, the only thing I think I didn't enjoy about this story and I know it's a bit of a petty thing, is Spidey doesn't win the day in the end. Norman goes down because S.H.I.E.L.D. opened fire at him, and that's it. I would have much preferred Spidey to have just like finally shut him up himself.
Or
But
well. At least give him more of a definitive win before he just injected a
yeah,
shit ton of things in him.
yeah, because what happens at the end? Harry stabs Norman, saving Peter, and
And then
then
they just
S.H.I.E.L.D. just
fucking
shoot the shit out of him while he keeps hold of the desk or something. When I would have enjoyed at least one, like, maybe S.H.I.E.L.D. shoot him, but then he's still up, and then Spidey turns around and he's like, I've had enough of this. One bombs him.
I felt bad for Spidey though when he's like his main concern is just saving the people around him, and he's pleading to this insane goblin to just let him lift the desk back
Yeah,
up.
just let me save the people, and Norman's just not having it, dude.
I don't give a shit. But I found the quote as well. I found it on IMDb.
A Rhino quote.
Alex O'Hearn. Back away from me, Master Avenger. My diminutive corpus will not withstand your contemulous deficit.
Does he mean masked ultimate? There is no Avengers in. Sick, dude.
Spidey just takes a chunk out of the rhino suit.
Is this the
Tastes like
same
metal.
bridge that he fights Sable on in the game? There's like 4 bridges in New York, and I don't know what one's which.
My head immediately went to it just because, like, bridge, Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, because it's also from his house to New York, so
It's
it
very
does feel like the
condensed.
same bridge. Mate, there was a PS2 game, and it had Queens and New York fully, modeled. It's pretty crazy how
Absolutely amazing.
ahead of its time it was.
Such a good game, dude. I'm so like, I still don't know why we never got a sequel.
And then every time you see news about it, it just looks so cool.
Yeah. Tell you what I thought was cool. The school therapist who's been in it since the Goblin's first attack being revealed to have been an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. That, I would say, that's a good twist, unlike randomly making, I don't know, Robbie Robertson Mysterio. Like, this
Yeah,
took
because
a
it's like,
character.
it feels more in tone with it.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't like Shield's uniforms in the
No, they
Ultimate
look like
Universe.
villains. They look like friggin', what was it, Cobra from G.I. Joe. Why are they in
Like
like full
random
body
henchmen.
green? Yeah, Quartermain just looks like a baddie. They
But
look
even
like
like Shannon
Spy
Carter
Master
looks like
thugs.
Black Widow.
Yeah. And is Carol Danvers is in it later, isn't she? But she's never Miss Marvel.
I think Shield again. It's the whole thing of like Spidey was just the best part of the universe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, defo. But
Do you like this Nick Fury?
uh yeah, this is probably I was never into like
Had a bit of a
the
personality
spy
though.
side of Marvel. It's clearly just Sam Jackson. Like from the very beginning, it's just Sam Jackson.
I like when he says something like, "Who told you that?" The guy pokes your eye out and just fucking slams the wall
Squares
and
up.
goes, "Yeah."
But the Spidey sense didn't tingle, so Peter should have known. I think it's bullshit. How? He literally says to Peter, well, it's not against the law to turn yourself into a big, ugly monster goblin. But then at the end, he goes, Peter, it's against the law to have spider powers. So,
I
what?
feel bad, but he's got such a like raw end of the like. It doesn't make any sense the fact that he's gonna own Spider-Man when he turns 18.
Joke's on him. he's, he's not
That's why
fucking
he
good at it.
fucking died.
Yeah. At the end, he takes that bullet for Cap. He's like, this will fucking show that dickhead Fury.
It doesn't make sense though. It's like that's almost like an army draft. He just has no say in it.
Yeah. But, like, unless during the course of the story, the law changes. Because Nick literally says it's not illegal to be a genetic mutation, unnatural genetic mutation, because they can't arrest Norman Osborn for it. And then by the end of the story, he goes, no, kid, you're an illegal genetic mutation, so You're coming with me. Or is it because he can't take Norman? Because Norman's
Yeah, it's like
fucking massive in this dude. He's
it's
so
like Norman would kill him.
Norman's like absolute hench. That
The
panel when he
whole,
first transforms, and you're like, oh shit.
even like the whole Osborn family just cooked. His mother wasn't Harry's mother an alcoholic.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Because he says,
Harry's a loony.
Norman talks real shit about his dead wife in this. He goes like she was so busy trying to protect her lifestyle, she forgot to actually have a life. What? Hardcore, dude.
Did you? This is gonna be one of the smallest details that no one probably cares about. Did you
I
think it
care.
was an odd color choice to have yellow blood for Norman?
I thought that was maybe because like a censorship thing. Like maybe they didn't want to show full like maybe his blood's that fucked from all the goblin juice. Would you have
It's
preferred it to
actually
be
just
green?
a nicotine addiction.
Yeah, mate. That's like that's the plaque off his teeth. The Spidey's punched him in the mouth.
Like Norman stops mid-fight to hit a vape.
Well, that's what that smoke on his hands was. Whenever we see stuff like that, I do just think like, oh, that must have been like to stop it from being an 18 plus book. Good English, dude. Uh,
This Norman would have like Norman flavored vape.
when he put strawberries in the vape, it tasted like strawberries. So if I put me in the vape,
He's like me. He'd get Harry addicted to it just so he's more like him.
I did like that dude on the bridge who was like, "Hey, Spider-Man, yeah!" And he took Mary Jane to safety. So he was like, "Hell yeah! Finally, we
You the
see a
man.
nice Marvel civilian." No, you the man. Get a
Compare that to
job.
the issue 28 one. It's like he even
That
made fun of him
bastard at
stuttering.
the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like Iron Man sorts the Rhino rampage. He's like, "Where the hell were you, Spider-Man?" I was on my way.
I tried. I tried what?
Absolute clowns, mate. Is that the same guy? He was wearing the blue apron. Don't you save him in the Rhino mission of the game? It's like, stop stealing from my store, and you've got to lift the telly off him.
That'd be incredible, like attention to detail if it was.
That would be wild, dude.
I sort of just
You
want
know,
to say yeah, just to give the game more credit.
as a very like panel pally reference, dude. That issue 28 where he can't escape school to go and be Spider-Man started off as an episode idea for the new animated series.
Really? Like it's just
Yeah,
constantly getting stopped on campus.
yeah, and couldn't get to like get out to save the day. But I think they told because
I
Bendis
do.
was an executive producer on that.
I was gonna say as a filler issue, it was one of my favorite fillers. He just
It was a
couldn't
good
get
way about it, but I'm still
anywhere.
like, why are we getting fillers? The whole next arc feels like filler to me. I know something important happens in it, but
The only I will say,
it doesn't hit hard at all.
the only thing that was jarring to me was the fact that issue 27 ended with them like sitting apart quietly. It was awkward,
Oh yeah,
and then
yeah.
the next issue, like MJ's like gleaming, like get on your costume. It's like what, you were just
It's
like,
like yeah, you're terrified and depressed 2 minutes ago. It's just like what I said to you the other day about how like Daredevil Born Again happens, and then the very next issue is like, whoa, everyone, it's Madcap! Look out, Daredevil! Like, did we just
even
have this
like in
serious
the fucking
dark
show, it did that
story?
too. The new one, Matt's slowly becoming Daredevil again. Have you heard about my daughter Kamala Khan,
Literally,
aka
dude.
Miss Marvel, who lives in San Francisco and fights crime at night?
There's a Funko Pop.
He's fucking blind. He literally shows off to a blind man his Funko Pop.
Yeah. Whiplash of
Have
the
you
mood,
noticed
dude.
the? Also, I want to say as well, I did like how the filler issue was titled "Sidetracked."
Yeah.
Have you noticed the art difference a bit in like Bagley's work as it progresses?
Explain before I go
So
yeah
like
or no.
I feel like in a way the covers have slowly progressed. They've moved away a lot from the realism like backgrounds and the realistic backgrounds, and it
Yeah,
feels a bit more
good.
in
As I said,
line.
like
Except issue like 32, I think has got that realistic background.
issue
Um,
22, and I think it was 24. No, 25, maybe. Sorry, 2 seconds. 23. All these issue
23's got the
covers.
realistic one.
Yeah, most of these issue covers were great because they're relevant to the story. Issue 26 is especially cool. It does have the realistic New York look in the background, but like shit's going down.
25 is
As
one of
we
my favorites.
as I was complaining last time about how the covers don't tell you what goes on in the book, 25 is especially brilliant at that because it tells you literally how the book more or less ends.
But also in like the interior, I don't know if they changed inkers or if Bagley's doing something a bit different. I feel like his artwork looks a bit more cleaner now. And I think it was in issue 22. How fucking
Yeah.
cool was the splash page where he's like, I'm late for class?
Oh, yeah, dude. That is when you say Ultimate Spider Man to me, that is what pops to my
Everyone
mind.
uses it, yeah. It's just like
Yeah.
it's iconic.
What about
It's
that gang?
fucking brilliant.
The roller skaters, are they meant to be like the speed demons or some shit?
I, I like how he just sort of just talks shit about their outfits the whole time.
Yeah, because he's like, I fight dudes with like real superpowers, like electric
The only,
superpowers and like
the only
metal
thing I
arms
don't
and
like
shit.
about his personality is the fact that he's so obsessed with being like an A-list superhero.
Yeah, he was bumming off it, wasn't he, in the last saga we did? So big time superhero. It's like
But even in
he
that
should be more
issue where
concerned
he
about
stops to
saving
think
the day.
and he says like the powers of like Doc Ock and Electro, and he's like, "I'm A-list, baby," or something like that. It's like, oh,
Yeah, like
what do
is
you?
he now above stopping common criminals like the one that killed Uncle Ben?
It's like he's so obsessed with it.
What about that dude who like at, with these exact same robbers? He literally goes, "You should all get cancer." Whoa, dude! I know they've just like mugged you, but
He
Jesus,
he specifies as well, like only you should. Like it's just only them in the world.
yeah. Ooh,
Did
the
you
end of
feel
issue 22 where he's on fire and he's like, "What was your question?" Jesus.
did you feel bad for MJ during a bit of this?
Yeah, but a little bit actually, because Gwen seems to be taking up more of Peter's time than Air, which I understand Gwen's got problems. But he kind of just stops talking to Mary Jane about important shit. He keeps saying to her, "I need to talk to you later about the Osborns," but he never
And then
actually
they
warns her.
had the meeting
Yeah.
to like throw him off completely. Even I think the worst one was when Gwen just randomly pulls up to his place and he just hangs up on MJ.
I think the worst one is in the Rhino issue where he bumps into Gwen crying in the bins. He literally says, like, she says, "No, I'm fine. You can go. You can go." And then he goes, "Okay, I'm gonna go." And she goes, "Yeah, leave me just like everyone else." It's like, mate, he's tried to help you. He's offered to help you. You've said no, and he still goes
I
and
mean,
gets Mary Jane for it. But yeah, you mean
yeah,
like
I felt bad
regarding
for
relation?
MJ. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I know. But I felt bad for Peter with Gwen being a raw bitch. So
but
listen, love, you
that
don't have many
also
mates in this school.
that example could work as the worst one in context of the build up. Like after all they've just been through with like the way that Gwen's just randomly appearing, and then he goes, "Can you check
Yeah,
on Gwen?" I'd be
yeah.
fucking livid.
I know, like Uncle Ben taught him to look out for everyone or whatever. But that bit where she just turns up at the house and that, and then they're all best mates. The school psycho knocks at his
My
house, and yeah, she helped him out
superhero.
once. Hint, hint.
Even
In the
I felt bad that, like, when MJ's like, "You can have a secret identity, but I can't come over," and he's like, "Yeah, basically." It doesn't make sense that he was, like, so, willing to tell MJ after one complication because he's horny, but then he couldn't tell Aunt May?
he defo should have told Aunt May. The second Spider-Man started looking better in the public eye after fighting Doc Ock, he should have sat down with her and went, "Listen, this is going to cause complication."
I'll tell you what, did you think it was creepy when Harry was walking by in issue 22 and the panel's like him gloomed and, like, depressed, and then he just fucking smiles so creepily at MJ and Peter in the next panel?
Yeah, like he's looking
Also,
down, and then it's suddenly, ugh.
I remember later on when I think Harry came back again,
Yeah.
and then, like, they had this, like, almost, "Oh, did MJ, like, get with Harry before, like, they got together?" And I fucking hate those
Oh
stories
yeah,
so
I
much.
remember that.
She didn't though,
Yeah,
did
the
she?
hinting that
They
they had
said it.
something. I think it's like they may have kissed once, but they never actually got together. But they do frame it as if to be like, well, yeah, she was my girlfriend too.
They always do it though, like, they always have to throw in some sort of,
Oh
"Oh,
no.
but was she with someone else?"
Uh-oh, was she unfaithful to the hero?
It
Mate, she
always
literally.
happens.
I like how she's gushing to Harry about how much she loves him, and then he's like, he
She
gets.
said
It's the
you
only
love
time
me.
he's happy in this whole story is in that lift before the Goblin reveals. He's like, oh shit.
Literally. She said that? Those exact words.
And he literally says, Donnie, he's like, as he's entering Norman's office, he's like, holy shit, she loves me. I should just go grab her now and we'll run. Don't have to deal
Yeah.
with this shit.
Oh,
We'll
I
just
love
go.
that one part where he says, wait, let me see what, it was something like, he's so crazy about Mary Jane, and he could have just married her today. He's like, "Should I tell her that?
Oh, yeah.
Because I
It's
would marry
nice,
her."
isn't it? It's just nice seeing him, like, hopeful.
Considering how it
Even
ends
if,
as well.
when he's entering Norman's office, he's freaking out. He's thinking, like, there's too many people here for him to just attack me. Like, I need to strategize. Then out of nowhere, he just goes, Mary loves me. Like, it's still what he's focusing on, even though he's in an absolute shit situation. Why has Norman got a shark?
Mate, that was like the rawest fucking panel ever when he has like this thing was a splash page of one of the issues,
And he's
and
choking
you
out
got like
Peter.
and the shark's just on the fucking ground.
Yeah, it's just flipping out. Yeah, there it is, issue 27. He's choking Peter, and then the shark's just like, ah. Hammy's like, do I help Spider-Man or do I help the
Or the
shark?
shark. He thinks
I'm
back to all
coming,
the times the
Bruce.
shark was there for him. I love that it was
Harry.
pretty funny when Harry was just saying, "Has he come out yet?" And then Flash was just like, "You got fucking Ren."
Harry finding out early that his they said his boyfriend, that Peter's Spider-Man.
Uh,
What do you reckon of that?
Harry can't catch a break in this.
Nah, he's
I
rinsed.
think I think it was good to get it out of the way in a sense, and I also think he handled it better than Sam Raimi would have. Especially like the hypnosis stuff in general was a bit weird too.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
I would have just
Do,
preferred maybe like a drug story for Harry.
do you remember in Shadow of the Green Goblin where at the end Harry chooses Norman over his mum? There's no hypnotism
Yeah.
involved. He just chooses Norman. It would have been better in this, I think, if Harry just really wanted to be his dad's mate to the point where he more or less deludes himself into believing everything rather than it being literal mind control.
It definitely even plays out like that when it first happens and you don't know the context. It just feels more like Harry's just sort of gaslit himself
He's
to
that,
believe
yeah,
it.
he's that desperate to have a good relationship with his dad. He is overlooking everything. And this isn't just because it's Miles Warren who's the therapist who, I can't stand the jackal. This is like it could have been the looter doing the hypnotism and I still wouldn't have liked it.
What did you think of Aunt May in this issue with the way that she sort of just enabled the story and didn't really do much else?
Yeah, he's like, oh, but I'm grounded. I can't go to dinner. She goes, nah, go on.
She-
You
yeah.
shoot off.
And then she's
Doesn't
like,
really
"Let's
help.
go." And then he's like, "No, we can't." And then Norman's bad. Oh, really? Like you didn't fucking realize that?
She even like quotes Uncle Ben's like wisdom on rich people as well. It's like you knew he was rich. We were considering suing him 20 issues ago. Remember?
Oh yeah, like not to mention the fact that I don't know, maybe he got exposed worldwide on the news. The fact that he was the Green Goblin.
Yeah, mate. Imagine watch. How hasn't she put two and two together when it's like exposed that Spider-Man has stopped the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, one day after your nephew come home crying about Norman Osborn?
And then he had that spider bite at Oscorp, which
You would definitely if Kong can put it together, dude.
that's the
Why
issue with
can't
having
Aunt May?
Kong as like the smart one, is because now it's just like, well, Kong could figure it out.
Yeah, it's not that Kong's the smart one; it's that everyone else is the dumb one. Then she turns up at the school to try and stop Peter from fighting Rhino.
I hated when Kong went like emo.
It's ridiculous, isn't
There's that like Bendis going like I'm go. It's not a phase Marvel editorial.
it? It's not a phase low.
Like comes in the office one morning, just sees Bendis sitting there listening to like Deftones or some shit.
What was your favourite issue of this saga? I'm going to say again.
Um, that's a hard one. I feel like there's something about maybe because it's like double size, but like issue 22 and maybe like 26, I'd say.
I think 26 because it's raw action non-stop, dude. You find out Mary
I just,
Jane's alive, and then he just gets pissed off. It's like, fucking get out.
I really like the fact that like issue 22 had a lot of just sort of character moments.
Oh yeah, like
I like the
necking at
squinty
school.
eyes he did as well. In issue 26 when he's like focused about Osborn and his eyes squint like a
Yeah,
Ditko squint almost.
well that's what I mean. He's freaking out about how close that was, and then he's like, "Fucking Osborn nearly took air from me." Then he's
Did you
he's
like
mid
how
sentence, can't catch my, and then he's just Osborn.
did you like how Norman wears a green cloak to signify the
Yeah,
sorry, a purple cloak to signify the
yeah.
purple and
That's so you know he's the Green Goblin.
I mean, mate, I tell
You
you
would have,
what though, Shield is the biggest dogs in the whole thing.
yeah.
They tell Peter
Like,
like,
don't worry,
"We will
we'll
be
be there.
there," and they weren't there. He wasn't even there.
The second anyone's in danger, we're there. And it takes 20 pages for them to roll onto the bridge after he's already chucked Mary Jane.
I was trying to figure out how Nick Fury was entering the building because it looked like he was just walking on air.
He must have, yeah, I think he's got like a flotation, like a kind of force fieldy, I don't know,
He
like
uses
airwalking type of ship.
the
It
Pulp
doesn't look like
Fiction
he's jumped
aura.
out. It does look like he's just walking into the building from the sky, doesn't it? That is not it. His hands are in his pockets. That is a casual, slow walk.
I'll tell you what I really do also like about Bagley's style in this is it's a small one he did. for Spidey, and it's how the lenses have that like almost zigzag line to show like it's reflective.
Oh yeah,
He
like
does
on
it
the
quite. Even
cover
the
to
game did it.
27.
The game had it too.
Like it's at an angle.
Um,
I see. I get what you mean.
issue 26
Oh,
is
where's it?
like a
Yeah,
lot of good
perfect.
examples.
25 literally starts with it. Yeah, there's like a squiggly. So it's it's not just like a straight line.
I really like it. Whenever I draw Spidey,
Yeah,
I'll always add in the reflective sort of line to it.
boss.
It just sort of, I don't know, makes it feel a bit more. It makes it feel unique to this series as well.
Yeah, like when you're looking at Ultimate Spider-Man and not just Spider-Man.
What do you reckon would have happened if Peter had sided with Norman?
If he had accepted his generous proposal. Well, they'd have had to go and kill Nick Fury, wouldn't they? Just for like the clout. Would have set him up against the Ultimates. I don't know. I think at this point, Spidey could take the Ultimates. They don't have the Hulk because by this point in time, the Hulk was already arrested after destroying Manhattan. So
But
the
if
Ultimates currently Iron Man, Cap, Wasp, Ant-Man, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. I don't even think they got Quicksilver yet. So I'm going to say yes, Spidey and Norman obliterate the Ultimates, take over S.H.I.E.L.D.,
because if
and life
Norman
is
kept
good.
his word and he was like, "This is now my son," and he backed them
Yeah,
up in the fight, that'd fucking destroy them.
he does say to him, like, if you do well, I'll treat you well. As Spidey would do well, dude. I want this alternate universe now. That sounds sick. Just these two slaughtering S.H.I.E.L.D. And then, like, who else is the Ultimate Universe got? Magneto was, like, the ultimate villain, wasn't he? In the end.
Basically, because of Ultimatum.
Yeah. So they'd have to deal with the mutants at some point. Who else did they even have? Ultimates just fought terrorists and, like, aliens, didn't they?
Spidey had the most sort of depth.
And they didn't all just die at the end. The Ultimates fight, like, I think they're called the Liberators, and it's like the Masters of Evil for the Ultimate Universe. But they're all shit like randos you've never heard of. And Black Widow. So it's like, what is the point? There's no, like... Because it's so edgy, because, like... I mean... The Ultimate Universe is edgy as hell. Even before Ultimatum. So all the villains end up, like, dead. They even make you think Magneto's dead after the first Ultimate X-Men arc. So it's like, who else is there? Fantastic Four's got, like, they'd
They
have to
could
do
have,
Doctor
like,
Doom.
basically, they could have easily just taken over.
Yeah, the only, like, consistent, I wouldn't even say army, but the only consistent group of powered individuals are the Ultimate Six. So, where the hell are all the supers?
So, like, it would have been just. I always sort of imagine those key differences for the story. Like, if Peter
Yeah,
had actually done that. I don't know, like,
that
I
would have been
feel like,
sick, dude.
yeah, like, he probably could have taken over the world if he really wanted to.
In
I
a
think it'd be
later
hard
story,
to,
they get
like.
quite far doing just that. Like,
Do you think
when
it'd be
they,
hard to write it?
that's how the Ultimate Universe just ends. It's just because
Just
Spidey
too
goes
hard?
rogue and just slaughters everyone with Norman. Sick, mate.
What would you say was your least favorite out of the bunch?
It's a tricky one because it was all so good and it was also tightly written. As I said, this felt like that from the second Harry come back. You're like, oh shit. You don't really get a moment to sit back and go, oh, okay, we've got to deal with that later. It's no, dude. Fucking go now. So
I
I would
wonder why
probably
issue
say
22
28.
is longer. Oh, because of the filler?
Yeah, just because we've added it onto this one because it would be a bit weird opening the next one with it. because this could
I
have
mean, the
even
Aunt May part was so bullshit in that. Where the fuck did she come from?
like at the start of every issue it tells you like a summary of what's happened so far.
I
There is
I actually
no
read this one
mention.
because I was so confused.
Yeah, there is no mention of the Green Goblin or nothing in this. This feels like if
It
they
was
made a new
made before
Spider-Man
it.
cartoon. Yeah, this issue could slot in anywhere after Mary Jane finds out that he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, yeah.
We never
But I
saw the
mean,
end of
was that
the
the chameleon
"You Be
thing?
a Superhero" presentation. That never got followed up on yet. That
What
must
about
be issue
next up's
100.
the chameleon, isn't it?
The chameleon. Oh, I,
It's like the doppelganger like thing.
yeah, yeah.
And
And
then
we've
we
got
got the he gets framed for murder, right? Was it the gunshot? I can't remember. I remember a gun.
we've got a character death next arc, but because we've barely spent any time with this character, it doesn't really land very nicely. It's more just an excuse to get more Gwen time.
And it
And then
wasn't.
after
Did he
that,
have the same sort of relationship as well in the ASM book?
with what? With Gwen?
I mean,
Or
like
with the man,
Captain
the one who
Stacy.
dies?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't even think. Let's just spoil it now. His book's been out for 20 years. In the
As
next
soon as you hear
volume,
Gwen,
Captain
there's only
Stacy
like one other
dies.
person.
Oh, yeah.
That would-
Yeah, fair play. Captain Stacy, who dies in the next volume, I don't even think he's met Spider-Man. While in the Amazing books, he knew it was Peter. He
no, besties.
consistently met him and worked with Spider-Man. He was like the only person Spidey could trust on the Force. And in this, it's like you said, they know that we know the character by name anyway. So they feel like they can skip all the important bits.
Also, um, with
Great power.
Gwen Stacy and Stacy's and shit like that. People who like Gwen Stacy and are fans, I doubt they've read the comic books because Captain Stacy in ASM was 10 times the character Gwen was ever. Like, he
Yeah,
was way more interesting and fun to read than Gwen was in the entirety of
Gwen,
the 616.
Gwen just caused drama. While Captain
Uh,
Stacy got shit done, dude. When he
If she
saves that
lived the
kid from the
bridge,
fallen chimney.
if she lived the bridge, she would have eventually just broken up with him anyway because he was Spider-Man.
Absolutely. Even if she didn't find out, she'd just be like, after that incident, it'd be like with Deborah Whitman, where they were just like, Spider-Man triggers me too hard. I'm leaving. Or she'd be like, if you don't stop taking pictures of Spider-Man, I'm going to leave. And then in the thought bubble, because we didn't have narration boxes back then, we had thought bubbles. Peter would go, gee willikers, how can I tell her that that I can't stop taking pictures of Spider-Man?
And then, like, the next issue will open up with the same scene with different dialogue for some reason.
Yeah.
Because Stan forgot what he wrote
All up in web
last month.
snappers. How can I tell her?
That's one thing I do like about this series, is when they do that sort of continuation and, like, same scene in the new issue, they make sure it's, like, exactly how it was. Even if it's maybe just framed differently, they still say the same thing.
But that's just Bendis is writing that.
But
I'm
have you
throwing
noticed
you
that
off a bridge. You're throwing me off a bridge. Yes.
the
This
bridge
bridge. I'm throwing you off it. This bridge.
is throwing me?
Me?
Well, I
It's like
didn't
fucking
notice
hell.
much of it though this time. It was pretty tame with the Bendis dialogue.
Yeah. Well, that's another tick for me. That might be like why this is one of the favourite stories in it.
Do you think like someone from editorial was like, Bendis, please shut the fuck up?
And then that Rhino issue's got that this is happening now. This is happening now. Wow.
Mate,
So
he
he
does
slipped
love
it
his
in there.
speech bubbles though. The other thing I don't mind though about them is how you follow the story with the speech bubbles, like the news, the tape they were showing Peter at
Yeah.
Osborn's penthouse. The way you follow
That
the
was an
speech bubbles and see him slowly, like, get more nervous.
yeah. That was an example of what I mean by like the layout being not bad, but certainly different in these books. Like last time when Doctor Octopus was calling Hammer out in front of the TV crews, like it's a long trail of a box. It takes me longer to read that one page than the rest of the issues combined.
I remember there's, like, one later scene where I think Peter's thinking to himself,
Yeah.
and I think you start at, like, the top of the page and just slowly goes down until he's, like, just sitting there, and you have to follow the entirety of the page before you just
Yeah.
get to Peter.
That Superman page you sent us before where it's like it's like the visual track has stopped, but the audio but the audio is still going.
Do you think, like, out of the 28 we've read,
Yeah.
if it came out now, what do you think people would say about the series?
That's a good question because, like, this series kind of shook the whole thing up, didn't it? Do you think it was the success of this series that made them do one more day? Because they wanted that younger Peter in everything.
I sure fucking hope not. Because, like, around this time, we'd be getting, like, the JMS stuff, wouldn't we?
Yeah, around 2000s, early 2000s. If it come out today, I reckon more people would be moaning about the Goblin being like a Hulk. But now that he's not just dumb muscle, it's working a lot better. Now he's like a thinking monster.
Do you think, like, you'd have the people who'd try to be more different and then just say it's shit? Like, utterly
Oh,
horrible?
absolutely.
They'll
The
go ASM is better.
contrarians. Oh, mate, if this was coming out alongside like Zeb Wells, Jesus H. Compared to modern Ultimate, this is well better. Of course, it is.
Yeah,
Stuff's
because like,
actually
shit
happening.
happens. Yeah. The main thing, isn't it?
What do you reckon? There's a tough one that might be a bit divisive. What do you reckon's got the better art? This or New Ultimate?
Ooh, I th
I don't think there is a
overall
wrong answer to this because both are top quality. Like,
overall, I'd go with this one. Um, you got, like, Bagley's the artist nearly all the way through.
yeah, that's the key
Even the
bit to
fi
me. Like,
even the filler issues he does too, unlike some other artists.
yes, mate. Whenever Chichetto isn't on New Ultimate, I blow through the book because I don't really like the other guy. But when he is on it, I'll take my time with it. But in this, all of it being by the same dude, it matches the universe. It's kind of cartoony, but it's also like detailed cartoony, but in a good way, not like that old Nightwing book.
Well, like, I think the best example is just the "I'm late for class."
Yeah, like he looks
Like,
freakish, don't he? He's like, ugh, he's
he's
gangly as hell,
very yeah, he's very
but it's
skinny. But, like,
but it
it's
works.
the amount of, like, just effort he puts into it is crazy. Plus, I
I'm
love
looking here.
Mark Bagley.
Yeah, I'm looking at a panel here where the goblins escaping the shield helicopters, and like the bridge is behind him, and you can only see the goblin's eyes glowing as he's running away, and it looks absolute baller, dude.
Like, at the time, you would have had Bagley would have done heaps of the Clone Saga, the Ben Reilly era, and then he went straight to Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I mean, he quickly set himself up as, like, the guy for Spidey.
hell yeah, dude. Every panel is art here, mate. Must have took him ages.
That's what, like, some of the work he's done, I'm like, I don't understand how he did it. I was just, like, looking at the Rhino splash page, I was just thinking in my head, like, it's incredible the way he laid it all out and
Yeah,
how dynamic it looks.
how it flows. Like every panel like leads into the next. You can see how.
Oh, it's incredible.
I'm looking here now at the Doctor Octopus fight from issue 21, and it's the same. He's just every one of these panels must have took him ages because there's actual love and care put into the whole thing.
The one thing this is a nitpick, but the one thing that throws me off Kaketo's artwork is I feel like he doesn't draw the bottom half of someone properly. Have you noticed, like, whenever something like Daredevil's doing a flip, his, like, from his glutes to his, let's say, maybe, like, quads, they don't have, like, proper
Yeah.
shape to them. It's just like a straight line.
Oh,
I just
I'm
think he
looking. I've
like, that's
googled
that's
it.
the one part I'm not really a fan of for his work because his faces I really love.
Oh yeah, mate. You know what? You may be right here because I've googled Chichetto Daredevil, and like everyone I'm looking at does have like the legs are rather like
It's like
not as
to put
stylized
it
as the
as
rest.
simply as I can, it's like he doesn't like they don't have asses. Like it's just straight. I found a good example. Send it through.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Like it just doesn't look right because he's got his leg, going into the body, but then there's nothing to sort of say this is where it goes and joins into the hips. There's no glutes whatsoever. It's just
Yeah, yeah. This is meant to in Daredevil season 2, where Elektra's like, he's like, "How did you know I'm Daredevil?" And she goes, "I'd know that ass anyway." What ass? Fan dabby dozy
it's the
dude.
one thing that I think he just I don't like about the work.
Fair enough. So coming up, dude, we've got the death of Captain Stacy. I know we said we'd do this time anyway, but I think what we should do next is that and Venom, because this next story
Yeah,
arc, I could leave it. Like the Venom one's the cool one, obviously, but they haven't built Captain Stacy up enough to make me care that he's about to die. He doesn't have that bond that normal Spidey has with him, where like it was a big friggin' deal when it happened in ASM. Not that I was around for it, you know what
we
I
we
mean?
can go to
It's a
we
real
can go
turning
to
point. Is it 39? Yeah, 39. So, next time on Per Panel Per Pals, we've got, was it 28 or 29 to start? 29. So 10 issues,
29.
29 to 39.
Can't wait, mate. The Venom saga.
Even though the Green Goblin is Ultimate Peter's ultimate nemesis, Venom, because of the game, Venom is the first villain that pops to my mind when I think Ultimate
Oh,
Spider-Man.
definitely, yeah. Mate,
I
I
remember,
remember
dude.
first reading.
You do
No
yours, then I'll
way.
do mine.
But I remember, like, when I was first reading this, like, ever.
Yeah.
Um, I was buying the issues off eBay so I could have it, like I wanted to read it on paper,
Yeah,
and it was a bit more harder to find the Venom stuff, but then I found, like, issues 33 and 34 were the hard ones to find for some reason, and I finally had all the Venom saga ready, and I was reading those, like, at the middle of the night. It was almost completely dark in my room. It was just the fucking best. Like, it was
yeah,
so
dude.
good. It was yeah, fucking love this series.
Mate,
What
the
were you gonna
changes
say
they
though?
make for Venom as well. I was gonna say, I remember when the game come out. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I was only a kid myself, and I remember being like, it opens up, doesn't it? You Peter Parker fighting Venom like on the school. It's the end of issue 32 or whatever, where he's like having his
Oh,
confrontation
yeah.
with Venom. And I remember thinking, holy shit. Well, I probably didn't think that when I was that age, but I remember thinking, oh my god, the first boss is Venom. Who's going to be the last boss? I was like, wow, we're going all out for this.
Mate, how cool was it when at the end, Venom does, like, that roar because 'cause he's got the white symbol now?
Oh, mate. The game is absolutely the better story than the War of the Symbiotes we get towards the end of the actual comic.
Plus he eats the kid, fucking balloon.
Yeah, oh, my balloon. Yeah, that was boss how they like thought to do that. That kid was
They just
unreal.
like, they knew that everyone just despised him.
You know what I despised from Spider-Man 2? The robots. Like, you fight them with Black Cat first, and then they become like a common occurrence, don't they? Like a crime in progress. I could never defeat them.
Oh, like that one mission where she just hops in, and then you have to try and
Yeah,
defeat them
I,
all?
I, you do that, but then when you've completed the game, and you know people are like Spidey down here, and like sometimes it's a muggin, sometimes it's like Mysterio robots or something, or like a carjacking.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it was them fucking robots, and whenever I'd speak to a civilian and they'd go like, "There's some robot over there," and it would show the big green fucking robot with the Gatling guns, I'd just reset the GameCube because I'd be like, "No, not doing that shit," because I could never. Even during the actual story mission, I would hide and let Black Cat like whittle them down because I'm so
Couldn't
shit
she,
at
like, die
fighting
for it? Could she
them in
die?
particular. She nearly gets like shot, and it's a close one, and then Peter's like, "We can't keep doing this."
Because
That
he's
game's boss, dude. Fantastic game. I
that's
just
good.
can't fight that particular enemy.
How about, like, the way Spider-Man 3 had the, like, one robot design, and then Web of Shadows, for whatever reason, reused it for their game?
That big, like the red one that like Kingpin's goons use.
Like, the one that, yeah, like, you fight it at City Hall, I think?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The big like dreadnought looking thing.
They used it in Spider-Man 3 originally, I guess they didn't wanna waste the man-hours that were used for it.
Crazy, dude. The Raimi games we need to do like an episode on, whether we do them all at once or if we do 1, 2, and 3, because
I've
that I was
never
thinking before,
fully completed 3.
having you.
I don't even own it
Oh
I haven't owned it in since I sold it and never that's the one game of Spidey I
yeah,
didn't buy back.
yeah, because it's all quick time events, but like we can watch the cutscenes on YouTube or something.
I'm going
Because
to die.
yeah, that Spider-Man I was thinking before is like unstoppable. Like he's so good, even the Green Goblin never finds out who he is. He just attacks Mary Jane because he sees Mary Jane kiss Spider-Man. He's unstoppable. At the end of 3, when Harry gets like knocked off his surfboard, Spidey just goes, "Right, that's it. You're done." And then he fucks up Venom.
He
Like
fucking kills Venom.
the only time he like canonically gets hit is when Dr. Octopus removes his mask at the end of Spider-Man 2. Otherwise, that Toby fucking the video
That
game version of the movie Spider-Man just kicks all his villains' asses.
That Doc Ock final mission was one of my worst nightmares.
Mate, it's not even like Doc Ock who's the problem. It's the stupid pulsating energy thing that you can't get
And the
near.
fact if you fall, I'm pretty sure when I was like rage quitting, if you fall into the
The
water,
water. Yeah.
it's game over.
Yeah. Even though in the game he just crawls back out.
Eh, Like it's so. I remember I was like, it was my last one. I think I had to do, and I was trying to get the last. It was like underneath the pier, fell right into
Yeah.
the water.
Yeah.
I had to
And if he
start
hits
over.
you
I'm
when
like,
you're under there, mate,
oh fuck's sake!
it's done.
Well, what was
Terrifying.
the hardest Ultimate Spider-Man mission? You reckon? I can't.
Uh, there's an annoying Venom one where you're running away from Silver Sable's goons, and because of how the health mechanic works, where you're
Oh
always
yeah.
losing health, I remember that winding me up a fair bit.
As a
Otherwise,
kid, made the Rhino mission. I could because I didn't like understand, and tell you how to beat him.
yeah, the
So it
Beetle
was really to get him into
boss fight.
cement.
Yeah, let him punch the wet cement, and then you swing him with the wrecking ball.
But I didn't realize it properly for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
I always thought the Beetle fight as Venom was annoying for similar reasons, because you're always losing health and there's no one to absorb.
Oh yeah, because the what's it called?
Traps you in a warehouse, doesn't he?
Yeah. You don't have
So
much options.
yeah, you can't swallow anyone. Carnage, I remember being annoying more because he also regenerates health, but not nearly as bad as the Electro Chase. The Electro Chase, mate, always wound me up.
Oh, I think even the Venom chase with Sable was a bit annoying.
Ha, I love that bit though, just because you've just had like the sickest boss fight going. Venom swoops in out of nowhere and kidnaps her, and just Peter just complaining as he swings in to save the woman who's just tried to
You gonna go
murder him.
save that lady?
Boss,
Thinking about
thinking about it. That crazy silver honey threatening my
it.
family. It's good
I
writing
like
because Spidey's like
how
he fucking hates her, but he knows he's got to save her. He's got to try.
but even the way he almost like he treated Sable like a basketball Venom.
Yeah,
She's like rolling on the ground and he sort of just bounces her off and catches her.
but that friggin' the bit where Electro goes all the way to the top of a building, you follow him, and then he jumps right back down it, and you're like, you've just if you do like your locomotion leap at the wrong time as he's going down and you're going up, it rinses that like radius bar or whatever and cancels the whole mission on you.
Also, one thing I love the game, like how it wrote Peter exactly like the comic did, like it was perfect.
Yeah,
Just the way he keeps like screaming at people,
yeah. What is
especially
wrong
in
with
this.
you, mate?
Yeah,
That is, yeah,
when that's the one line I'll hear perfectly in my head with Sean Marquette's voice is, "What
yeah.
is wrong with you?" Because that's
He
all I
keeps
remember.
saying it. He keeps saying it in the comic, don't he?
He every time he's like pissed at someone, he just randomly screams shit.
Huh. There's a bit later where he's talking to, I think it's Doctor Octopus, and he's like, "You could have changed the world with like your brains, but you're doing this stupid shit instead." What's coming up on your channel then, pal? What can we look
Uh,
forward to?
as of recording in like an hour or two, we'll have a
Yeah.
Daredevil video up. But
Oh,
when this goes up, like posted, I'll be working on maybe more Spidey content because I want to not just sort of talk about ASM and actually focus on stuff I like.
would you ever do this series?
I've had a few written down because it is probably one of my favorite, or if not favorite, Spider-Man sort of runs.
Yeah.
Um, I was considering even like the origin story as like a retelling.
Oh, very
Or
nice.
issue 13 is one of my favorite issues from the entire thing. I fucking love that issue.
Yeah,
Uh,
sounds nice.
what other sagas are there that's really good? The Venom one, the Hollywood one would be fun though. To just see
That's it, though, dude.
I need to,
All of it's been really good. Like even like the Kingpin and the Enforcer bit was brilliant.
and then yeah, like each Green Goblin appearance has been pretty fun. The last one was probably
Oh
the
yeah,
best
mate.
one.
Oh, before we go, where would you rank this story on the board? And what's your villain ranking now that the Goblins had a second chance to shine?
Oh, the Goblin's like easily the fucking best. He's crazy.
Yeah,
I feel like it'd be Goblin, Doc Ock, Kingpin, Electro.
yeah,
My bottom two would be like Craven and Shocker, I feel like.
yeah,
Um, is that all the villains?
yeah. I wouldn't count the Enforcers; they were just goons.
So what would your ranking
The
be?
exact, the exact same dude. Goblin has rocketed to the top now that he's not just something to punch. He's now he gives you an idea of what he's going to do to you now. Then
And like
Doc Ock.
Electro has more of a personality than Craven.
Yeah, Craven was there just for that joke at the end of they build them all up and then he gets punched once and dies.
Like the
Which, as I
electrocutioner.
said, as I said, dude, as like an actual Craven fan, I would have liked a bit more of a show from him. But well,
It's pretty set. Both Ultimate Spider-Man sort of just treated him like shit in the end.
yeah, he's already dead in the new one. He did one cool thing, then it got took off him, and now he's dead. So, whoopsie doodle.
Before we end off, what do you have planned as well? Because soon I'll have the Superman, like the month of Steel.
Oh hell yeah, dude. Well, kind of similar. In July, I've got 2 Superman, 2 Fantastic Four.
Does it contain Flame On?
Does it? I don't think so, but me in August, look out for Flame On, the hit song by Johnny Storm, in underrated Hulk villain.
Yes.
Hell yeah. And
That song's just incredible. You
as
know,
it's
I
been
ignore the Mole Man part. I just like to think that that song created the earthquake.
yeah, the beats were too powerful, dude. In I think a week's time as well, the 3rd volume of Ultimate Spider-Man will be finished. So I'm going to have to quickly. I've got what is it, 5/6 of the video ready. I just need to read and review the last issue, add it on to what I've already got, and then that should be next week's video sorted.
You
And then
looking
I'm done
forward to that
until
one? Like just going through the
done,
Ultimate Spider-Man again?
done until September. Then, uh,
There's
as I
just
said, the new
not
one's not
much
been as
happening.
good. I'm still I'm still into it, but it's dropped off a fair bit from like how exciting it was.
It's a shame though, isn't it? Because like
Yeah,
the hype around it was real,
it could
and
have
like
been far
I'm just
more than it ended up being.
a bit confused. Like all the positive praise, I'm just wondering if it's that feeling of necessity to say it's good, or if it's like genuinely enjoyable for them.
Like they're now scared to admit it might not be as good as we all thought.
Oh yeah, it's like yeah, they just have to automatically give 5 stars.
But well, we'll see how it goes. Any final words?
Like I said last time, read Ultimate Spider-Man. It's it's incredible.
True. And had he not been so selfish, nah, why did the goblin chuck him off the building anyway? Like, he didn't like try and offer him nothing, did he? He was just more like, this is what happens if you don't listen.
Very poor choice of words. It's just fucking chucks her up.
Literally. Like, I think as cool as this was, Willem Dafoe screaming about making his choice was well cooler, dude.
Anything William Dafoe is just automatically better.
Oh, mate, he is like my hero. He's just cool as hell.
Get him to do like the lighthouse sort of quotes in the Green Goblin suit. Hark, Peter Parker. You don't like my Oz.
You don't like my ass. Belter, dude. Next then. What was it? 30, no. 28, 28 or 29, whatever we didn't do it. 29 to 39. Venom, which, it's a bit swift, isn't it? Jumping into Venom, because, you know, it took 300 issues to get to him last time. And
I mean, like, it definitely felt like they just knew he was the coolest. You know, like,
yeah,
it's Venom.
They rushed to him, but they changed so much, and I'll get into it more next time, how it's a bit of a shame how much they change Venom, because he's not very much like the one people love from Amazing. But that's a story
He doesn't
for
have the same
next episode.
personality, but yeah.
He doesn't have a personality. Like, as we said about the Goblin in episode 1 of this, Venom, in Ultimate Venom, he's more just a monster to punch. He's got no forward thinking. He's not a planner. But I don't want to say too much. We'll get into that next time. But before that, we'll see. Look out for next time. Craig, sign us off. Craig.
I think we're going to be living in the age of Craig soon, mate.
The age of Craigtron, dude. We're like, he didn't even read the issues. He knew we were recording today. Just rude. Just sits there with his dead, bare eyes behind his microphone. He's got a microphone. He doesn't blink. He's got a microphone, but he doesn't get involved. Craig!
Maybe it's because we removed him in the final cut. You don't see his face.
True. He doesn't get screen time, so he doesn't bother. Ratty Craig. Ratty.